Hey guys, Ryan here, and in this video we're going to do an introductory tutorial for setting up voice AI agents inside your GoHighLevel account. And in the spirit of the free unlimited usage of the employee AI module, it's the best perfect time to jump in and start testing out some of this new cool AI technology. I know it's been around for a while with third parties, but we're finally here with native high-level functionality with employee AI. So we're talking about things like reputation management driven by AI, conversational AI, voice AI, workflow AI, and then of course, the funnel builder AI as well. So in this specific video, we're only going to be talking about voice AI. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be walking through how I would set it up initially, step by step, and let's dive right in. So to begin with, we're just going to be talking about some of the known limitations as of right now. So it's now the 29th of November 2024. Let's talk about some of the limitations. Now, if you want to get started, I'm going to dive into the screen share here, and what we're going to do is we're going to enable employee AI directly from the agency's level. So if you haven't got this menu system, you want to go to your company profile at the agency level. So let's jump back out to agency level. We want to be in the settings area here and then go to company. And of course, once we're here, we can scroll down, and essentially what you do is you just enable it here at the agency level. Then you should get the season of AI menu coming up like this. What you want to do here is put in growthable AI, all lowercase, into that box, and then click enter, and it'll accept your affiliate code, and you're going to get all the bonuses that come from growthable, and including but certainly not limited to, our team of global onboarding experts will now do an onboarding for each of your sub accounts that is going to use the voice AI or the conversational AI build out, and we'll activate that with a free onboarding session provided you've got that code at the agency level. So growthable AI, all lowercase, at agency level, and you will get a ton of support and bonuses from growthable. So without further ado, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into some of the limitations. So let's talk about what some of the limitations are. The number of agents that you can make on the unlimited plan is going to be 10. So you can have 10 agents. The prompt is limited to 2,000 words, and I think actually more specifically, it's about 1,700 characters or less. So if you are sort of feeding in, prompts into ChatGPT, or you're sort of going to 11 Labs and pulling up the API reference and trying to fit it all in, my advice is use the one that's provided in the default template or the one that we provide in our snapshot. There's only slight changes can make a big difference with regards to the prompts, and the character limit, of course, is an important consideration when building out prompts. The time limit is a hard cap at 5 minutes. So if you are thinking about, having a conversation go longer than that, then you're going to need to figure out workarounds beyond the 5-minute cap limit. That is, as of the 29th of November, the 5-minute limit, I should say, is imposed, given that we've got an unlimited opt-in for a period of time here. I'm guessing it's to stop abuse of that. So, how many actions per category of actions? So when a call is completed, you can perform an action like send an SMS, start a workflow, update a contact field, update a contact custom field as well. That all can happen after the call is completed. It should be known, though, the name and email address can be updated whilst the call is taking place. However, custom field updates won't be updated until that call has actually come through to completion, and you can do 5 fields 5 actions. So you can run 5 different workflows. You can have 5 different actions within an SMS message, and for contact fields, we're talking about up to 15 fields of information as of right now. There are things like suggestions that I'll make in terms of the prompting to slow down the sensitivity and speed of the voice. We'll talk about things like, the initial greeting and maybe some extra things we can use in our prompts to make that more human-like. And, a few other sort of the frequently asked questions. So that's some of the limitations that we've talked about. Let's dive right in and show you a step-by-step creation of a voice AI bot. So what I want to do is I want to jump into the first sub account that I'm going to deploy this for. So I'm going to use our company Growthable here as the example sub account to do this for. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to settings. We're going to go to voice AI agent and let's create an agent. We're going to call that Ryan and the company is going to be called Bob's Mechanical. I'm going to choose the Emily voice, which is an Australian female. My advice to you is to go and listen to the voice options that you've got. Some of them, from my own experience, said that they were Australian. My Australian accent is, I suppose, what I would call sort of fairly vanilla. I don't have a thick accent, but some of these Australian accents were way off, and so it was worth just going and listening to a few of the samples there. I've chosen Emily in my example because it was the closest I could think of to sort of an East Coast Australian accent. And I've gone with the female, which is proven to have better reception with audiences, male and or female. The initial message, of course, is basically if you've got a standard greeting for picking up, say, a switchboard call or something like that, what I do as a workaround is I just put in hello, and then I move on to the next phase, and we're going to switch immediately into advanced mode. Keeping it in simple mode, I think, is pretty too simple. We want to switch to advanced. As soon as we switch to advanced, we can start manipulating the prompt and so forth. Okay, so now it's time to start getting into the prompt, and there's going to be a million people who have a different opinion of the prompt. Current limitations on the prompt: you cannot add an external URL, so that the expected behavior would be that you add a URL and that the knowledge of the bot can contain what exists in the external URL. So as of today, that is not possible. The other thing that's not possible, which is coming soon on the horizon, is the addition of custom values inside the prompt. So right now it is just pure free text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back into the screen share, and we're going to jump into our voice AI agent, and what we're going to do is we're immediately going to start talking about this prompt. So without further ado, let's jump into the screen share. So here I am again, and this by default, the example prompt I get is pretty good, right? So you get a nice background info, you are my agent 170. We're going to change that to the name we want to use, and we're personifying this agent, giving it a name because we want them to think that they're a person. You're a dedicated customer support specialist at Growthable, following blah, 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 blah. Now, of course, all of this would go a long way in terms of helping you understand what the objective of the call is. So from my point of view, you would set up an agent to have a specific function, and then the goal of that person is going to indicate whether or not what they do. Now, there are some prompt guidelines. So if we click on this, we get a nice help file which talks about the elements of the prompt. So best thing to do is definitely give that a look. You'll see that there's best prompting practices written in that article, and it's obviously very, very sort of detailed. And it talks about elements being in action. So it's saying, there are, good ways to go about defining different interactions and the flow of those interactions through it, via a conversation, right? So, a bad example is just writing, you're a salesperson for this business, assist customers and help them book appointments, act like a human. You're talking to whatever the name is right now. what's better is it's somewhat probably, you know, 3 times larger, right? So we've got, you know, you work for, your goal is this, qualify them based on this, always maintain the persona of a human assistant, do not disclose, suggest, or hint being an AI assistant. Now, I was on a call this morning and someone was saying that they always disclose, so up to you. But this guide is massive and unbelievable, and it will help you with your prompting. I've seen people literally take this, copy and paste, put it into ChatGPT and say, you know, your name is this, your job is this, you know, rewrite the prompt, and it actually works pretty well. So that's our prompt, right? Now, I've done things like avoid assumptions, generalizations, and then like in the example that I used, which was the ability to get my car serviced from a mechanic, you know, I've said, you know, something like, because if one of the goals is for them to get the make and model of the vehicle, I try to humanize it a little bit. And I say, if you, so I would say from time to time, right? Guess the the model of the vehicle that the owner has based on what make they say when asked. Because that's a pretty human thing to do. Someone says the make of their vehicle, they say BMW, you go, oh, M3 or something like that. Now, you know, not everyone does that, not everyone knows cars or cares about cars, but it's a human thing to do. And so I'm assigning a bit of a personality to the agent, right? Because what I'm trying to do is give it more of a personification and human flair. Moving on past the prompt, what's probably more important than just prompting is the actions that you want to take after the call has been completed. So we can see here, we can either transfer a call, trigger a workflow, update some contact fields, which we've already done. And of course, make sure you add the custom fields, add the contact fields, not custom fields, that you want to update by default. So there's an update action that happens with the contact during the call, and during that call, it's able to update base contact information like email and first name. Now, it's not able to update other bits of information in custom fields until the call has finished. So just be aware of the limitation, and you're going to need to do this for every field. So for instance, if we're doing make and model, I'm going to type in the make of the car, and we're going to do the make, and this is going to be the make of the car that they would like serviced. And then as an example, I'm going to say BMW, and as another example, we're going to say Ford, and then click save. And we just have to repeat this process over and over again until we're happy. So let's go new field. We're going to say model, and we're going to say odometer. The odometer reading of the car. As an example, 100,000 like that. As another example, 100,000 spelt like that. And I'm going to say 80,000 written like that. I might even go back and just put in some better, so I'm going to say km, kilometers, miles. Great. Then I want to just grab the model of the car. So we need the model. And I'm going to say it's the model of the car. And then again, an example would be M3 5 Series. Model was already taken. Make model. I must have put odometer reading. So we're going to go Odo. Okay, so I've got make, which does the make, model, which does the odometer reading. So I actually want that to do model. And so what do we do to fix this? Let's go here. We need to move that to something else. So we can make that model, and then that. Let's delete. Odo. Model is model. Sorry about that. Fixed. So we got to make the model, and I think we got the email address, and I'm just going to grab the first name of the person. So first name, and let's grab their first name. First name of the caller. Fantastic. We're going to go with Ryan, and then we're going to go with John, and then I'm going to go with Abdul. Apologies for all the Western names, as I am a Westerner. That's the only things that I can think of. And so we've got here workflows that can be triggered, right? So we could say we want to trigger a workflow, or we can say, so this is like, you know, when a condition is satisfied, trigger a workflow. So when somebody evaluates a condition in the purpose of the call, and I've got a condition which says, ask them what the color of the sky is, and if you arrive at a mutually agreed answer being blue, trigger a workflow. So that's kind of what that is saying. And then otherwise you're saying, well, when the call is completed, trigger all these workflows. So the difference between triggering a workflow kind of as the call is happening versus triggering a workflow when it's happened. And then now you've got the email notifications around call completion. You've got the ability to send to the same types of users you would get an internal notification in a workflow. These users, the owner, specific people. I could just keep typing here. Otherwise, it's a custom email. Then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the notes, right? And the transcript. So what I know is that you can, if you're going to send a note of the the transcript summary, I believe it is note something.note, and I can't remember what it is. I'm gonna have to find it here, so I am just going to pull that up very quickly because it is important enough that I need to mention it here. So let me just pull up my document. Note.body, there we go. So sorry for the wait, but we've got note.body. Now that is the call summary of the transcription, right? So I think that that's a really cool thing just to know. Otherwise, yeah, this SMS kind of goes out. And again, this is here because it's a during the call process, not a once the call is completed process. But worth knowing now that the limitation on updating these fields is that custom stuff like Odo, make, and model will not actually be updated until the call is completed. So if we're actually going to get this to work, we're probably going to have to change this a little bit, right? So what I'm going to quickly do here is I'm just going to run over to ChatGPT and I'm going to say rewrite this, right? Let's just do a brand new rewrite, right? For a voice AI agent named Alex, who is tasked with getting the first name of the caller, the email of the caller, and then their vehicle's make, model, and odometer reading. Guess the model of the car from time to time. Keep all the other rules and constraints and instructions. Keep the structure. Paste, right? So now we're going to get a little bit more of a sort of like structure here. So let's wait for those instructions to come back. Now my ChatGPT does all this weird stuff where it kind of stops in the middle. So we're gonna just go back here and wait for it. Whilst we're waiting for the prompt to kind of finish, Then we have some sort of weird click cancel. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Let me move this out of the way. Yeah, we're going to move this out of the way. We're just going to hide the Growthable chat widget here. Click save, just to make sure it isn't covering it. Yeah, that's great. Clicking save does absolutely nothing, as to be expected. Great. Let's see if our... Yeah, here it is. Now for some reason they do very, very, very concise instructions here. So ChatGPT, you know, okay, let's click save. Finally got the agent updated. You are booking customers' cars in for servicing at Bob's Mechanical. All right, let's save that guy. Okay, back to phone and availability. We need to give it a phone number and then we need to dial it, right? So I'm just going to dial me right now. And this is going to be the end of the voice AI tutorial. Hopefully this gives you enough information to get going. Let's do a dial and we'll answer the phone straight away. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Who's this? Sorry.
Hey there. I'm Alex from Bob's Mechanical. How can I help you today?
Looking to book the car in for a service.
Great. I can help with that. Could you please tell me your first name and email address?
First name is Ryan and my email address is support@growthable.io.
Thanks, Ryan. Now, could you tell me the make and model of your vehicle? And if you have it handy, the odometer reading too.
Yeah, make and model is a Nissan Pajero and it is 100,000 kilometers on the clock for the odometer reading.
Got it. A Nissan Peugeot with 100,000 kilometers. Thanks for that info, Ryan. We'll get your service booked in and follow up with you shortly. Have a great day.
Okay, so the call's been completed. You can give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, and, you know, sort of give it the, you know, I'm not exactly sure how that sort of thumbs up, thumbs down rating is. I guess it's just a signal. You know, we've got the transcripts, we've got the recording, but more importantly, right, what we want to do is we want to actually check that it did, you know, like literally anything useful. You can see here that it's got Ryan, and let's bring that up. We've got a phone number, which is the phone number that it dialed. So there's a text message history here because I was using conversational AI earlier in the day. If I scroll down to the vehicle details, you can see I've got a Nissan, and I did have this the wrong way around, 100,000, which is my kilometers, but it should be in the Odo reading. And as you can see, what would be amazing now is to have, you know, those workflows running and doing all sorts of cool automations off the back of the information that we're able to capture from the contact record. So the power of this when you're qualifying, contact information, enriching contact information, handing off to other objects that could be created. So think about the power of combining this with workflow elements that can create custom objects and associations to contacts, creating orders, creating invoices, creating, stock items. Literally any line of business function would be, able to tap into what's possible here and only here in native high-level employee AI functions, right? So I feel like that whilst there's a lot of third parties on the market that are absolutely killer, right? The beautiful tightness of the integration here with only what HighLevel can do is really going to be the biggest kind of, I want to say, what's the right word? Reason to stay with HighLevel's native functionality rather than going third party, right? Now, I could be biased. I'm a little bit biased. I'm not here to talk about third parties, but I think it's amazing and really cool. So if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments. We run these sessions regularly. I'm going to have a link to our community in the video below. We've got great resources there, things like sales pitch decks, training, education, go-to-market examples, snapshots, the works. So if you haven't joined that community, please go and join for free. There is a paid version as well if you're more advanced or need to get a faster return on what you're trying to achieve, right? So see you on that side. If you do like this video, please like and subscribe. I am going to have a playlist pop up right now, which is going to be more and more employee AI related stuff. So watch this playlist, subscribe. See you soon.